How's everybody doing? This is Johnny Concert. Welcome to the Johnny Concert Podcast. I got my man Ledbelly. And I got Count. Count, tell us about the bands you've been in and what you do, what you play, and all that.
We don't have enough time for that.
Okay.
But I can summarize it for you. I'm a local Colorado musician who's been playing, performing, recording in Denver, Colorado since 1985. Played it. How many decades is that? Jeez.
That's a lot.
That's 4 decades.
4.
Yeah, so long time. One of the key band that I played with in the very early 80s was called the Fanatics. We actually opened up for the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Cricket on the Hill.
Wow.
In like
Legendary.
86, before they were actually the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wow, that's
right?
incredible.
That was an incredible
Phenomenal.
experience. They were, well, yeah, that was a great experience.
Yes.
That was one of my first.
Those are the days when we could actually run up and down 13th and
13th. Oh man.
Well, that was a spot. If you
Cricket
remember,
on the Hill was the one.
Anybody who's listening who's from Denver, Colorado, knows that the Cricket on the Hill was a very legendary place,
venue,
right? That lasted for quite a long time, and we eventually in the 90s opened up a clothing store right next door to it, and then it closed later. But also Dr. Lecter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tom Clennon, the great late Tom Clennon. Okay, we call him Tom C., who passed away in 2024, was also known as Dr. Lecter, and he opened up Dr. Lecter's around the corner.
I remember
from
that.
In that little tiny spot. It was just
Legendary.
this little, it was about as big as from here to there.
Legendary
right?
stuff.
But great Denver musician. Shout out to Tom Clennon.
Yes.
May you rest in peace, my friend. We love you, Tom, and think about you every day. Well, not every day.
It's
often. To say.
So we lost you too soon, so we'll be,
Yeah, played in a lot of Denver bands. Too many to name, but maybe next time on the next podcast we'll get into a little bit of that.
Sure. And then what other band did you play with?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them.
Yes.
I think we can't mention.
I was thinking of Lord of Word. That's whose anniversary. Tell us about the anniversary today.
Oh, okay. So today is August 26th, 2025. And 30 years ago to the day, we played Red Rocks with a legendary band called The Samples. Another Colorado band. And it was on this day that we performed that. So at this time, actually right now,
exactly.
we were performing on stage, which is
I was at the concert.
Quite a thing. And I was thinking about this last night.
That was the Lord's Word opening.
Yes, opening for the samples. Yeah,
that's right.
And so, how do you go to sleep the night before your biggest show? Like
how amped up would you be? Yeah.
I mean, there's the anxiety of like I've got to go to sleep, right?
Yeah,
I want to be fresh
when you're practicing,
tomorrow.
you're too tired to sleep,
right? And so prior to that, it was the same day that the Beatles had performed. 30 years prior to that, so it was 60 years ago today.
I mean, playing Red Rocks is the dream of every Colorado boy that grew up in Colorado. It's the dream. It's the be all end all.
Yeah,
to play at Red Rocks.
And that was when we were growing up. We knew this. We knew we had something special, but now it's like what?
It is, but that's
everybody. It's a vacation destination, not to mention a stage destination for every act in the world. So yeah.
And DJs now can play Red Rocks.
Oh my goodness, they're overusing the venue now. But I mean, Lord of Word was such a high energy band that I don't know why the Samples would want you to open up for them, because you blew the Samples away. I mean, there was so much energy. I mean, it was just palpable. It filled the air. Every single person in the whole Red Rocks was jumping up and down at the same time, and it was a phenomenal show. Just really high. I mean, great show.
And we'll do a podcast kind of centered around some of that. But let's get on to Ledbelly.
Ledbelly.
Well, I think we're going to discuss a few things. We had
what bands have you played?
A lot of things we stepped on. Or if you don't, I like that term because we're not really prepared for everything. But we do come up with a lot of material that we do want to get to.
We're prepared with our unpreparedness.
And yeah,
so we'll name a couple bands you played in though, and still playing.
I like to. I started out playing trumpet, of course, in high school, and I was always dissuaded against music. So I don't have a whole lot of history as a known artist in Denver, except for the '80s, and then finally got into it once I had time to get back to it. But
we got into the '90s after the '80s.
That's right. I thought we still were in the '80s.
I do play with I do play trumpet, so I've found a niche in a swing group. We do swing dances called William and the Romantics. And that's my favorite dynamic in town. We have the greatest crowds, greatest sound. So.
And you play drums as well, right? Is that correct?
But yeah, for years when I was in high school, I got the trumpet lessons, everything else, but I was told I could choose an instrument and I'd get the lessons. Anything but drums. So I drew papers for 3 years, bought my own drums, had a place on 19th and Lafayette. It's still right there. We used to fucking play in the basement. I had my first garage band.
There you go.
And we did
excellent
some Sabbath.
And then how many concerts have you been to?
After that, they got forgotten because I lost a lot of sets, never could play at home.
Well,
the concerts, boy.
And your parents are responsible for us missing out on a lot of.
That's where I tried to get involved, with what I thought was hip, because I'm playing music.
What you knew was hip, buddy.
I thought I'm missing out on stuff that there's legendary concerts, and the '70s scene was amazing. So that's where I finally got a grip. I missed a lot of it, but.
So I know you've been to at least 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shows. How many shows you been to?
Yeah,
4,000.
Definitely pushing over close to 2,500. I would imagine.
I'm thinking.
That's
at least Ledbelly. He's forgotten more about concerts than most people ever know. So it's probably more like 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah.
But because I've been to over 4,000, and you've been at most of the ones I've been at. Plus, he's got a couple years. I mean, he saw the tour before I saw of all the great shows.
That's true, because I
saw Peace of Mind. I saw Power Slave.
Well, I wish I could say that, because I still feel like I was behind that. Of course, there's all the concerts I missed in the '70s is what I keep alluding to.
You were a little
where
kid.
I couldn't even, grasp the idea.
Try to focus on the ones you did see, Ledbelly, not the ones you didn't see.
I literally was 3 miles away from the Rainbow Music Hall and looked forward to seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan there for 2 months. Missed the show.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
that's legendary.
What year was that? Do you remember?
89. No. 86 probably. No, 80. I don't even know. Probably even earlier than that. When did he come out? That's funny, because
When did he come?
I think it might have been in my high school years, so
because Rainbow was open 80s,
84
basically.
Maybe, so, yeah.
That sounds about right.
And
because I went to every show basically from
moved
85
downtown
on. So it wasn't. It was before 85. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So.
And that was
We had a legendary concert venue in Denver called the Rainbow Music Hall. And I mean, legendary. What I'm talking about, Ozzy played there, U2 played there, Rolling Stones played there, Jesus Priest played there, all 4 of the big thrash metal bands, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, which I saw all 4 of those there. Urban Saint, Pretenders, Dickie Betts, Ulrich Ross from Scorpions, Motley Crue New Orchestra played there, Black Flag played there. I mean, it was just bands before anybody knew who they were would play there, because our local promoter, Barry Fay, was just a master at convincing the bands to come in there. And he had retooled the sound. It was actually 3 movie theaters that he knocked the middles out of and made it into Rainbow Music Hall. And he had a company called Dallin Sound do the sound. And so then he went and called all these managers up and said, hey, I know you usually skip Denver, but give us a shot. And so the word went out once he started doing that, from the band to band, manager to manager, agent to agent, and they started all coming down. And I mean, you know what's crazy too? They used to allow photography. Anybody could bring a camera in.
Right.
In the old days.
Yeah, I snuck a disc camera into that place.
Really?
At the White, I took a bunch of them. I took 2 rolls, I think, that night.
Do you have any old pictures from
the White?
Do you?
Oh, yeah. That was my second or third rock concert.
So they allowed cameras for a while, then they stopped, and then there were like 3 main guys that they had photo passes every time. And during COVID, these guys had started putting out the pictures that they had never put out of old Rainbow Music Hall shows.
Wow!
And it was fun. It was, just phenomenal. I've got to look up I've friended them obviously on Facebook, and there's also the Rainbow Music Hall has a fans of Rainbow Music Hall page, and so these shots these guys would get. I was in a handful of them. With the stage diving off of Anthrax and Metallica, and who else? Metal Church played there. Loudness, Keel, everybody. So, but the shots these guys would get, because it was just they were the only 3 guys licensed that had the photo passes.
Or cell phones for that.
No, but there was some good ass shows.
You know what was pictures. Really interesting about Brett Dowland? You mentioned Dowland Sound.
Right.
Okay. Did you know that he made all of his own speakers?
He did. He made it all.
Yeah,
exactly.
very cool.
Exactly. Yeah. He did his own thing.
That's what made his sound was incredible. And I know he's not doing sound anymore. Is he still with us?
I'm not sure. About that.
That's a good question.
But I met a guy at the Bull and Bush the other day who had worked on putting that stuff in.
Really?
He worked for Dowland Sound years ago, and he told us some good stories.
Wow, yeah,
that's a good reference.
He was a Denver legend, and shout out to Brett Dowland and Dowland Sound. Anyone listening who knows him, or
leave a comment if you know about the Rainbow Music Hall, or if you know about Dowland Sound, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'll post your comment.
Please.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it, man.
Hey. So I got a question. What year did you graduate East?
That was 84.
84. So let's touch on something real quick before we go on. At that time, the Denver jazz band music scene was phenomenal. And during that time, from I'd say 78 to about 87, 88, those 2 high schools had phenomenal jazz bands.
Yeah, the Denver public system.
I mean, it was
really good.
At Manual, where I went, so Johnny went to East.
I went to Manual.
Both, but I was Manual both. So we're all Manual High School.
They were sister schools. You could take classes at both schools.
And at Manual, we had Mrs. Davis. She was the choir teacher.
I remember.
And then we had Mr. Avis. He was the band teacher.
Nice.
Do you remember Mr. Avis?
I did not. Well, probably bumped into him because I remember playing in that room, but I very rarely made it over there. So
sure, Mr. Avis was. Who was your band teacher over at East?
It was who was that? Noonan.
Noonan, yeah. Right? Because it was kind of a competition between Manual and East, and who had the best. And some of the Denver's best drummers came out of there.
Steve Gibson, who became tag team. Woot, there it is.
Well,
he
played
in the '80s. He was a drummer in the jazz band. He was a drummer, and then he did. Steve Gibson. Yeah, Steve Gibson.
Right.
Yeah, and then he did
had
tag
John
team.
Nealon.
Yeah, John Nealon. I remember John Nealon. I remember Rudy Germany.
And John Nealon, this guy, he was first chair, and I remember I was second chair, and man, was it something to watch him play. Same with Rudy Germany. Just these guys were phenomenal. Plus Mark Boykins.
Boykins, he still owes me money. Just kidding.
he was the keyboard player, and he'd been playing since he's like 6 years old.
Well, there was also Andrew Hudson, who later became
that was going there.
advisor to the.
There was Chris Hudson and Andrew Hudson.
That's right.
They were
brothers. I remember it.
And Andy Hudson was a
played
phenomenal
the
bass player.
He played bass, and then he was an advisor, political advisor.
He was a brass player, actually. He was a tuba player and picked up while he played bass at the same time. I'm not sure which he started on.
Right.
But yeah, he's still playing bass in town. He loves to have that recollections like we do about the good old days when it was happening. Right. And that was how I know about him is because Denver had a system where you'd audition to be in their citywide groups.
Right, the citywide. That's right.
And when you said the jazz thing, that's where it really was out. Neil Bridge was heading a thing at the CEC Education Center.
The CEC?
And it was like a kind of an upper mobile.
That was, but it's also where they put the troubled kids too.
Which I never got involved, but if you could audition for that group, it was sensational.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like you said, they had some amazing players back then.
You were all first chair players if you made it to that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Senior Seminar.
Senior seminar. That's what I was thinking of too. CEC senior
right,
seminar.
something they don't do anymore. You know,
No,
remember senior seminar?
It was great, man. Great idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was what was that place called?
Yeah, up in
hills, right?
North Denver, they had.
Take them up there.
Right, they had a place in the hills. You're right.
Well, you would go to what was it called?
It wasn't Ballarat. It was
Ballarat.
Ballarat.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was Ballarat. But you got to. But anyway,
I never went there.
That was an interesting part of some Denver early history.
Yeah.
And some.
But we should keep talking about Denver
history.
history.
Miss Davis. Rest in peace, Mr. Avis.
Yes.
Right.
Not to be confused with Miss Davis.
Not to be confused with Miss Davis, but she was the choir gospel teacher who actually changed my life, right? Like really changed my life because I was the only white boy in the gospel
Bert
choir.
McHugh was in the choir up there too.
Bert McHugh?
Yeah, he was the only other white guy. The other white guy.
I don't remember him.
Yeah.
What year did he graduate?
84, I think. 83.
Was he 84?
83 maybe.
I'm 83.
83 probably. 83.
Why do I not remember him?
Yeah, you got to remember Bert McHugh.
I know. I remember the name.
You're 83. I'm 84. He's 85. Okay.
I'm 86.
You got this.
86.
Oh, you're 86?
I'm 86.
Jeez. Okay, enough of that.
I'm a youngster, dude. I'm a youngster.
Thriving
But think
music.
about more Cricket on the Hill stories, though, too. I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, before they were Red Hot Chili Peppers, that's incredible, dude.
Well, where else were they going to play?
I mean, so here's what they did, though. Here's what they did, though. In '87, they played CSU at College Days. And so it was the original lineup, Hillel Slovak on guitar, and they played it was a 100-year festival at Colorado State University.
College Days.
It was before finals. They had a weekend party, and you blew off steam before finals. And the Chili Peppers played, and back then you had 3-2 beer. If you were 18 or older, you had 3-2 beer on campus. There was a bar on campus that served 3-2 beer, the Ramscar.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I feel it's terrible for the kids these days. They're 18 and they can't drink beer legally. Oh, yeah. Because, anyway, so it was right in front of the Student Center, it was Lagoon, and they set up a stage, and they had an enclosure, and if you showed your ID, the university sold us beer. There was probably 1,000 kegs, as far as the eye could see. Yep. And we just went through all of them. We were hammered. Yep. And so somebody threw a bottle, hit Flea in the head. Flea starts bleeding all over, and then everyone's like, oh, shit. For a split second, everybody paused. And then Flea said, I love it. And then everybody just started going crazy, throwing bottles. They caused a riot, and then canceled College Days, 100-year tradition. They canceled that forever because they had this riot. It was tear gas, and it was on the international news. People's parents from Germany were calling, and, oh, you guys okay? You know, it was insane. But
that's a world-class story.
It was an unbelievable story. I was right down front for the Chili Peppers.
They were at the Lagoon,
and it was absolutely incredible. And we had known about them. You know, we had, your friends, your buddy's older sisters and older brothers showed us the Chili Peppers years ago. I mean, right when they started, kind of like the Beastie Boys. Right when they the first album, we knew about that stuff. Yeah. And so we were just so excited about it. We even had the posters up in our dorm. Said, "Pull your socks up, the Chili's are coming." They got a poster where they're all naked. He said they got socks on their dicks.
Yeah,
it says, "Pull your socks up, the Chili's are coming."
Oh, you were waiting for
and it was Hillel Slovak, the original guitar player before he died. The skinny, sweaty man in the green suit was Hillel Slovak. And before he died, he played Colorado State University. 1987, College Days. So
brilliant.
It's a good little story. It was quite something, let me tell you.
So what's the topic for today, Mr. Concert?
Well, I say we stick with Denver concerts. Talk about the local scene. We'll do our other topic another time.
Provoke the audience.
No, we'll talk about that another time.
Brought up some subjects.
But don't think about.
We need some more ideas on these lines.
No, we're gonna keep talking about the Denver scene. I decided. So we're already halfway in there. So why would we switch course? We'll do that next time. Yeah. So okay, tell us some other stories, Count, you got from legendary performances. Lord of the Word was one of the. If not the best band in the history of Denver, it was one of the best bands in the history of Denver. It was so high energy, so well attended, so. The whole crowd was as one. When Theo would have people jumping, the Lord of the Word would have people jumping. Every single person in the Ogden Theater or wherever it was you guys were playing was jumping at the same time. I thought the floor was going to collapse sometimes.
It was a very unified scene at the time, and it was very groundbreaking because really just a reflection on it is there really were no rap bands at the time.
Right.
Okay, because you had the thriving New York scene, and
sure.
You had the West Coast scene, which was Ice Cube and NWA,
yeah.
And on the East Coast you had a lot more was coming from the East Coast than the West Coast at the time. But the point is that there weren't really bands. The only band that was in it were the Roots, and and that's pretty much all of that I can remember at the time.
Yeah.
They were based out of Philly.
Yeah, I mean, but you guys were so much more than that, though. You had horn section, you had the wrecking crew, you had. I mean, it was comprehensive.
Was there management in this? I have a lack for knowledge on this, so
Well, he's
I
about to
appreciate
tell
this
us.
right now.
Management came later. We were self-managed. We had a publicist.
He was the manager.
Kelly Cowan and myself kind of managed the
I
band.
remember Kelly.
And we financed the band and booked it and did everything. It grew into what it was. Originally, it was Theo, who was Lord of Word, and myself, and it was just he and I on stage.
Okay.
I had, at the time, since rap music was really just starting to become prominent and get airplay, we performed with a sequencer, me as the live drummer, and Theo as the rapper, and it was just Lord of Word and Count D. And so we did several shows, and then we added in a bass player. That was the Goddess of Groove.
Ashley.
And then it was just the three of us, and he found a couple of, we got our first big show with them was Black Sheep.
What year are we talking about?
That was 92.
92, okay.
Yep. So then it just kind of grew, and we played the 23 Parish, the Garage, and
Legendary.
A gentleman named Kelly Cowan showed up, and I hired him to film it or record it, one of the two, or maybe both. I guess when you're filming, you are recording, right?
I'll be rolling, Jimmy.
So, and then he was playing in a pretty cool band at the time called the Human Head Transplant.
Okay.
And he decided that he wanted to join the band, so we let him join the band. And from that point, it started growing. We had Maurice Avatar,
I remember.
another legendary Denver player. Do you know who Maurice is?
Yeah, I remember Maurice.
Guitar player.
What'd he play?
He played guitar.
There we go.
He's quite the Denver legend. Shout out to Maurice.
Right on, Maurice.
He was, a little bit ahead of his time. He had played in a couple bands with us, or with me, and some other outfits earlier than that. But at that point, we started just adding people.
Yeah,
we
you
got
did.
a couple singers, and that's when we kind of hooked up with the Psychedelic Zombies.
Yes.
And
they were good.
Jeff Gallegos started writing some horn charts, and that's when we here's a funny story. So we have the horn players, and I'm like, look, I went out and got them all a bunch of cool white tees. I'm like, you guys are gonna wear these white tees.
Yeah.
Well, they were fucking rebel guys, right? And they're like, wait a minute, we'll wear your white tees.
Yeah,
so what
whatever.
they do? They went backstage and cut holes in their shirts as kind of a fuck you.
You can't tell us
To
what
me,
to do.
like, you can't tell us what to do. We'll cut holes in the shirts, okay? And we'll just look like a bunch of hippies.
Which is totally rock star,
Right. So, that's kind of how it went and how it grew to be what it was. And it became a monstrosity, actually, that was quite the thing to manage.
Oh, my God.
When you have 19 people that you're trying to manage.
Outrageous.
And trying to keep the sense of the originality of the band itself by not allowing it to become too much of all this. So,
but also the other thing was he would Count would come sample my records and feed them into the sequencer, the Akai sequencer. So there's one song, the World Today. It's a bunch of my Black Sabbath albums fed into there with a bunch of samples from different Black Sabbath albums, sped up, slowed down, and extended out. And it's just if you don't know it, you might not recognize it. But if you know Black Sabbath and you start listening to that song, you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's it had this other whole dimension to it too, with all the samples that, fed in through into the songs.
Yeah, and we'll expand on that. So, getting back to the local scene, let's talk about. Do you remember your first local band that you saw?
Good question. Excellent question.
Like at Bengals, right? Let's think back. Corruption.
Corruption
would be one of those.
There's one of them. They were fantastic.
Nick, rest in peace. A lot of these guys are gone now because, What about what was Paul V's band?
Angelic Rage. That was one of my first ones.
Shout out to Paul V, who's not with us as well.
Yeah,
right?
that was an excellent band.
I mean, if
really
any
good
of you
band.
guys were here in Denver in the 80s, you knew who. You remember Angelic Rage?
Yeah,
right?
My memory fails me. That's the whole thing. So,
but you remember Angelic Rage.
Our audience needs to help us out because I know there's a lot of suggestions they might have. So
were you into metal at that time?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ledbelly was into
well, they were huge.
Chaos Theory was.
Yeah, Chaos Theory too.
Shout out to Mike V. Mike V.
Yeah, no, Chaos Theory. I remember the first time I saw them was at the People's Fair, and they were right next to the city county building. They had that street blocked off, of course, at Bannock, and they were set up sideways there. And I was like, who the hell are these guys? And like, wow, it was like a Rage Against the Machine, but metal, but it was quite something.
So here's a People's Fair story.
Okay, good.
So Eric Titman, you know Eric, right?
Old Titman. How could I forget that?
Right? That legend, I keep using that word, but you look, Eric Titman, shout out to you, my brother. Remember when it was at East High School?
Oh, yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Before it moved downtown?
Yeah, sure.
So Eric Titman, his band, was like one of the very popular for young kids at our, because that's what we were. We were young kids at the time. We were barely 20, 21 years old. Mm-hmm. And Eric Titman would front the band, and his big song was Brown Eyed Girl. And I used to date Kristen Briggs, and she had a sister named Jennifer Briggs, and they were both brown-eyed girls.
That's right.
And so they would sit there and oogle and google because, back then Eric Titman was he was the hot guy, right? He played the guitar and sang.
Looked almost as good as I do, or what?
Right? Yeah. I mean, and they would sit there and they would smile, and he would sing it to them.
Music made him arc.
So then, what happened is it moved from East High School to downtown.
Yeah, Civic Center Park.
The band that I played with, the Fanatics, we played that. We were one of the first bands in Denver the very first year to play the Greek Coliseum there.
Oh, that place is great.
And
the Greek theater. Yeah, the little Greek theater there. Yeah, it's inset into the
14th.
It's inset into the the land.
Yeah. We had a song called The Hulk. It was called Do the Hulk, and we painted up our buddy Bill Perry in green and purple shorts.
Oh, shit.
And we said,
Bill can play
you're
the
going to dance around and play the Hulk while we do the song.
And that's where the idea for Shrek came.
That was brilliant, dude.
Right. But we had to get him really drunk to do it because he wasn't quite, the best dancer.
You're like, are you sure about this, guys?
So really all he did is kind of like threw his hands and he did this, what appeared to be a Hulk-like dance.
Yeah. How cool is that?
That was really bad.
I'm seeing it in my mind right now. I wasn't even there.
Did he use the word puny? Puny was trying to dance.
Scottish accent.
So, no, but little known fact is before People's Fair existed, my father did a thing called Spree at City Park, which is a precursor to the People's Fair. And he had booths set up. It was the People's Fair before the People's Fair. It's called Spree. And you can find the posters for it at my brother's bar in downtown Denver. Has all my dad's projects.
That's right. I've seen that. Right.
Colorado Symphony or McLaughlin Company Symphony Run.
That's awesome.
And a Spree. All the posters are on the walls at the
by the bathroom.
By the bathroom is the Symphony Run one, but all through the dining room too is there's Marathon and Spree, and those are all my dad's projects he worked on. But Spree was the precursor to the People's Fair.
So did your dad work with Dick Gibson?
I'm not sure. He worked with Skip Cole. He worked with Barry Fay. He worked with a couple different people, but it was before most of those guys too. He was in a book club with Dick Lamb and Dick and Dottie Lamb and the Roamers and the Toolies, and so he was they were talking about books once a week, and then he'd say, hey, I want these streets bought, and he'd have lunch or breakfast with Mary McNichols at the Egg Show. So he would just say, hey, I'm going to do this cool thing at City Park. I said, great. Wow. And back then, people in Denver were cool. There wasn't bullshit going on.
I've never heard that one. That's awesome.
And so it was live bands and booths and all kinds of cool shit.
Well, Dick Gibson did the Gibson Jazz series for a couple decades, so I'm sure that your dad
I know the
knew.
Gibson family. I think it's the same Gibsons. But
Josh Gibson. Shout out to you.
And Dan. Josh and Dan.
Is there Dan Gibson?
Dan was the older brother. Josh.
Should we call him?
We could call him, but no.
Let's see if he
But that was the precursor to the People's Fair. And remember the old People's Fair, the original one had the Little Kings beers. So we were underage, but we'd get these little buckets of Little Kings and get hammered. It was awesome.
Well, what did you think that Gibson's brother's name was?
Dan and Josh. Josh who committed suicide? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, Josh Gibson is the guy.
He used to manage the College Inn? Or are you thinking somebody else?
I'm not sure if Josh managed the College Inn. That's
If it's the same one, then he definitely did. But anyway, so...
Well, he did have brothers.
Okay.
So...
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they grew up in Park Hill, and they were friends.
Well, they lived right on 7th Avenue and I want to say Elizabeth, kind of right around there.
Could be different then. But he was a promoter?
Dick Gibson was the Gibson Jazz Series promoter.
Okay, I remember the Gibson Jazz Series.
Many, mostly at the Paramount Theater.
Ah, yes. Now I'm understanding. Yes, now I'm remembering.
I know Joshy lived there for a little while in the theater.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he play the Wurlitzer organs?
That's a good question.
Have you ever seen those Wurlitzers? So we have a legendary venue called the Paramount Theater. It was an old movie theater. And that's why you have the Paramount Cafe, because you used to enter through the Paramount Cafe. It was their movie theater.
That was owned by Zoom.
Zoom, the
owner of Governor's Park.
Right. And
yeah,
that's right.
It used to burn down.
So now what it has, though, it has these ancient Wurlitzer organs that are down in the stage, and they bring them up. They're usually you can't see them, and very few people have seen them. But every once in a while they'll bring them up. They have to raise them up, and there's only like one guy they let play them. This 80-year-old guy. I don't know if he has a successor or not, but I've heard him played only once. I used to work at the Paramount Theater for years, and so they're works of art, though. You see these things, and it's like, I mean, the light hits them, you're like, oh, it's
Where are the pipes?
reverential. The pipes are behind those curtains you see on the either side of the stage are those curtains, dude. Those are pipes. Those are organ pipes, dude.
Revelation for
They're
sure.
fantastic. I know most people don't even know that exists. That have lived here their whole lives.
For some reason,
there's two of them too. There's two of them.
Well, let's do a show about that. Let's get down there. Let's call them.
It's absolutely incredible when to hear these things play.
What amazing!
They sound so good, and but like I said, they're just these pianos have got to be, these organs have got to be 100 years old.
Well, what a great venue, though.
Isn't that crazy?
Great concert venue.
Great concert venue.
Absolutely.
It's just. For those of you who've never been to the Paramount Theater, have they been doing concerts there?
Oh, they're doing tons of them. Yeah,
really?
we're doing a ton of them.
Okay.
The only problem with the Paramount right now is the front 5, maybe 10 rows are these folding seats that are like this. They're like this. So I literally will not go unless I'm on there. I get the emails, so I got the pre-sales on Thursdays. They'll sell before they sell on Friday to the public. And you can pick your seats, if you buy, especially, their trick they do now is you got to buy the meet and greet a lot of times to get in the front row. But you can pick your seats. If I'm not on the aisle of Orchestra C, row A, I'm not going.
Well, let's think about it. So
I'm a spoiled brat these days, but it's just too tight. I'm not sitting. If I'm not on the aisle, I'm not going to Paramount. But meanwhile, the back on the main level and the balcony are the old theater seats actually, and they're comfortable. They're still just they're great.
Yeah. Let's rewind back to the '80s. What did we have? We had the Rainbow Music Hall. That was the main venue. You did have the Paramount, but that was mostly jazz. They didn't have. I don't remember rock and roll concerts.
I didn't see a show there till almost like Sabbath.
Well, it was also like stuff like I saw Victor Borge there. It was like
and that was the '80s.
There was they'd have the Nutcracker Ballet every year. There.
Right. Yeah.
So it wasn't it was as much theater as
more classical oriented, huh?
Well, then Warren Miller would do their thing every year there.
That was very prevalent.
So they had legendary recurring yearly things, annual things. I guess it's called annual.
Okay, so what did we have in the '80s as far as Denver concert venue? Well, that's a major. That's a major venue.
Well, you had the Rainbow.
The Rainbow.
You had the City Auditorium.
You had Bangles.
City Auditorium, which became Ellie Calkins Opera House, was the City Auditorium. Or Denver Auditorium, it's called. The Denver Auditorium.
Who played where is a good question, yeah.
But like for local bands is what I'm saying. Like there was Mardi Gras
for a while. Mardi Gras.
I heard that people played there. Yeah, I never saw
Steppenwolf. I saw Steppenwolf at
no
Mardi Gras.
Way.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they used to have the KPI Best Guitar Player in Denver competition. Our buddy Pat Searcy won one year, and Stu Lippa won one year. He got the jam with Steve Vai.
Yeah,
I think that was probably '80s. So it was definitely '80s.
Story right there.
Pat, good stuff. Shout out to you, bro.
Fucking Searcy, he can rip.
Fucking Searcy.
He can rip it, man. So
so what we had Bangles.
Bangles
If you could play Bangle, if you were playing Bangles in the 80s, you were kind of something in the metal scene.
You were, but it was also national bands too. Yngwie Malmsteen was there.
Definitely.
Badlands played
Definitely.
there. I mean, there were about 20 others. It scared me at this moment, but
I saw a number of acts there for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Lots
that
of
was
local
XYZ,
bands,
right?
It was.
Duff played there. Fucking I saw Driving and Crying. What was it?
There you go.
Killer one I saw.
I'll never forget being front row for Badlands, dude. And Jake E. Lee's hair was so long, he kept getting tangled in his his strings, and he was like maybe 3 feet from me, and it was the original Badlands, and it was the first album. It only had come out, and a lot of people didn't know who they were. Okay. But we were we were so into music back then. We knew. I mean, it was like a mark of your bragging rights, where you knew the band before somebody else did. So Jakey Lee Lee's Ozzy, who knows about Badlands before who else knows? So we were in such a competition. We were all in a friendly competition. We were enlightening each other, but everybody wanted to know who prove that you saw them first. The Cake song.
Well, music knowledge was king. I loved it.
It was tougher to come by, but
especially if you missed a show, you saw someone wearing a damn T-shirt.
Oh, we were in it. We were in though. We were in. I mean,
then
we were
like, I gotta catch
it. It was a cult we were in, basically, and especially the Bangles people, man. Everybody was like, "Have you heard this band? Oh, you haven't heard that band yet, bro? You gotta check this album out." And then you make them a mixtape, Yeah. But yeah. So what else? What other venues are we talking about?
Okay, so you have the Mercury Cafe.
Mercury Cafe.
That was on
Good
13th.
one, dude. Moved. Good.
And Burt Works, shout out to Burt, was another legendary Denver sound man.
What's the best show you ever saw at the Mercury Cafe?
Oh, okay.
I want to say the Pygmy Love Circus.
Oh, yeah, that's Danny Carey from Tool's band.
No, that's Danny Carey's brother.
Oh, brother. Gotcha.
Who
yes,
was, so, no, it's not Danny Carey's brother.
It's Danny Carey.
It's
Danny
Uncle
Carey
Butch. It's Uncle Butch's brother. But Danny
Carey was in the band.
Play with it.
Yeah, Danny Carey was in the band. Absolutely.
So the Pygmy Love Circus, Uncle Butch was a legendary Denver hairdresser. Shout out to Uncle Butch.
What's that, like a 74th shout out?
Do you remember Uncle Butch?
Yeah, I know. I was at his wow, I can't believe he
his service.
Bringing things out of them.
They had his service
his
at
brother, his little
Tavern.
brother is the singer for Pygmy Love Circus.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's great, Reverend.
Okay.
Love it.
So I remember going to see the Pygmy Love Circus there and some other local Denver punk. You would have seen Johnny Maggot. What was Johnny Maggot's band?
Oh, fuck.
He used to work at Wax Tracks.
Dude.
Yeah, Wax Tracks for sure. I totally know who you're talking about.
It was.
You know who else played there? Hawkwind played there. Hawkwind, legendary. If you don't know who Hawkwind is, it's Lemmy from Motorhead's first band. I think their first album was like '66. And they, if you go to Wax Tracks, there's like 100 Hawkwind albums. They're so legendary, and the most legendary band nobody's ever heard of.
Interesting.
And so yeah, they played at Mercury Cafe.
There was a used place down the road down 13th from Wax Tracks. I used to find those kind of things. But yeah, you'd be lucky to come up with them nowadays.
Well, the band Gong played at Mercury Cafe. That was pretty amazing.
And for those of you out there that are thinking of the Mercury Cafe that's down on 22nd, it's not that location.
Right.
Okay, this location was on 13th Avenue.
But it was Marilyn's place.
Was it Marilyn's place?
I think it was. Yeah. I think it was.
But she moved it to.
She moved it pretty early though, 80s, right?
It was gone after definitely by the 90s.
By 90s for sure.
Yeah, but I saw DRI at the other location and bands like that. Like I think I saw who else? Salt.
You're right. It was heavier back at the old location.
But yeah,
it was all underground.
Yeah, it was all underground crazy shit. You're right.
I mean,
totally different.
Rock.
Totally
so
different.
you had that, you had Bangles, you had what was the other one in Glendale?
Mr. Lucky's.
Mr. Lucky's.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if you were somebody you played Mr. Lucky's.
Yeah. What about Basins Up? Did they have bands?
That sounds familiar.
That's right. Basins Up. That was
Lermer
that
Square.
Was another one.
Upstairs, Lermer Square.
Yeah.
My friend did sound.
Freddie Henchy.
23rd Parish that you mentioned.
The Garage.
Well, Freddie Henchy, too, played, just side note, played at Uncle Butch's birthday party at the Gothic Theater.
Actually,
he had Freddie Henchy band play.
Yeah.
It was
a guy that threw a birthday party for himself every single year.
It was good
Till
stuff.
the day he died in the great city of Denver.
That's right.
He was a very legendary hairstylist, but very much into rock and roll, whose little brother was the singer of the Pygmy Love Circus,
That's
drummer was Danny Carey from Tool. Okay, can you get all that?
So incestuous, man. It's ridiculous.
Get that in there. Okay, so we're going deep here.
It is incest,
So I'm trying to remember, is the Isle of Park Saloon considered 80s? Or
absolutely.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Good one. Good one.
And what was the one in Lakewood?
Oh, yeah. Hollywood Legends, but after the Gold Rush. After the Gold Rush.
They didn't really have live bands there.
Six and Sheridan.
That was later that they had bands. But was it the Isle of Park Saloon, the one on South Kipling?
Sixth and Kip. No, that was Sixth and
what was the
Chambers.
metal place that was there for 30 years that's now closed?
Whiskey Bill's?
No.
Whiskey Bill's is another good one.
Ziggy? No, that's
No.
Whiskey Bill's is another good one. Sixth and Kipling? Oh, yeah. Hampton and Kipling. It was
yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So we
you
had
go play
Excellent.
pool there. Yeah.
So another great metal venue from the 80s.
It was
and
good
if
venue.
you could play X Saloon, you were on top of your game.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
You were.
Well, then, of course, Cricket on the Hill. I mean, Cricket on the Hill was legendary, dude. It was tiny.
Small venue.
That's what I wanted to
Tiny.
get back to as well.
But you're thinking of it a little bigger than that.
Right. No,
Yeah.
this was that that venue, the Cricket on the Hill, was more for just your local Denver punks.
You're right.
Kind of garage band.
You're right. But
if
Cricket
you played
on the Hill,
Saloon back
that's
then,
true. That was bigger.
You were.
There'd be tour buses out. There were tour
Yeah.
buses out there. Yeah, for
What
sure.
was the place that was off of Leechdale right there by the 4 Mile House used to be, or the 4 Mile
4 Mile House.
The pub that they had on that.
Well, that was
Leechdale
Maxwell's.
Cherry.
Was there.
Jimmy's.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's
reggae place?
reggae.
Yeah, something like
that
that,
was
yeah.
cool. That place was really cool.
Yeah.
It was like Thursday nights was the night there.
Before it was Jimmy's, it was a Mexican restaurant, and that was one of my first jobs in Denver. I was a busboy there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then when I got in high school, it closed down. It turned into Jimmy's.
Jimmy's was pretty cool,
And
man.
that was a hot spot.
It was a hot spot.
You know,
Thursday,
mostly reggae and kind of
but-
that type of
but
vibe.
the happy hour on Thursdays, it was a party. It was a good party for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what else we got?
Glendale.
Let's see.
It was Glendale. Well, then in the 90s, we had the Colorado Indoor Sports Complex, which was a soccer field on Evans and Sheridan, and it was an indoor soccer field. And then they started throwing shows there. And I saw Alice Cooper there. I saw it was Corrosion of Conformity, Soundgarden, and Danzig before anybody knew who those bands were. And it was legendary, dude. It was on the Louder Than Love tour.
Danzig was
and
on
the
that
second,
bill?
Danzig was headlined. And the Chris Cornell and Soundgarden was the second
I
band.
was there to see Soundgarden.
And Soundgarden, second song, Chris Cornell stage dived into the crowd, and it was just on,
Wow.
dude. He had no shirt on, his hair was insane.
Was that like 92?
It was
90, 90,
91?
90, 91, 90 probably, 91 maybe.
Yeah, it was off
Right
the
around
first Louder Than Love.
Then it
just
was Alice
barely,
Cooper,
like,
then who else
not
played
even
there?
a year old.
Like about 10 concerts I saw there that were just, but Alice Cooper was incredible. He had this thing where
I think I did see that.
in the middle of the concert, you know, the bass and drums kind of go into this groove section, and all of a sudden a gang comes on stage, like 4 dudes with ski masks on. You know, they're looking for trouble, and Alice and his rest of his band like go against him. It's like a gang fight, you know. And at the end, Alice grabs one of these guys and he had a cane. He pulls the cane out as a sword, and he goes shh, and he cuts the throat of this gang member, and blood goes everywhere. The gang member's died, and he takes the mask off, and there's this gorgeous girl with all this blonde hair comes out, and just blood going everywhere, and it was fucking fantastic. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It was this tiny, it was not tiny venue, but it was a smaller venue, and it was like right there in front of me.
It's like a high school gymnasium or something.
And he pulls the
had to
ski
be
mask
kinda
off, and
big.
it's this gorgeous girl, dude, just bleeding everywhere. It's fantastic.
I seen Voivod there doing
Voivod played there.
Astronomy, Don't Mind.
It was
like-
Flotsam and Jetsam opened up for Prong there. That was another good one.
Yeah, Prong.
Snap your
Sacred
Finger,
Reich.
Snap your neck.
Sacred Reich.
Sacred Reich played there. Saw Sacred Reich there. Their drummer hits the drums as hard as any drummer I've ever heard in my life. And he's got he's got gloves on, like the bicycle riding gloves with the fingers
Right.
loose.
Good memory,
And he was hitting the drums so hard. I'm like, he's gonna break those fucking drums, dude. It was fantastic. Well, then we had the
that was the
Gothic,
Voivod
the
show.
Gothic theater. So what happened was they took all our old movie theaters and they turned them into concert venues. But in the beginning, when they opened them, they couldn't afford to redo them all. So they just had the theater seats from the movie theaters and then an open area in the front. And then they, instead of a movie screen, they had put a stage. So Gothic Theater just opened up. Ogden Theater did the same. Bluebird Theater did the same. and those were legendary movie theaters.
Oriental.
Here's some trivia for you. So the Bluebird Theater, Lord of Word, was the first band to open it up.
No way.
And at the Ogden as well.
No way. Yeah. How did I know that?
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Swank. Called us.
I went to high school with Chris Swank. We went to high school with Chris Swank. Yeah.
Yep.
He was on the tennis team, and a year older than I.
But I remember when the Gothic opened, it was awful.
It was terrible. But it didn't matter because the bands were so fucking cool, and we were right up front, and we were so drunk we didn't care. I saw Faith No More there. I saw Soundgarden again there. I saw who else was it? Slayer, Ministry. Yeah. I mean, just phenomenal bands there. Yes.
Wow.
Who else was Scatterbrain? Sacred Reich again. I mean, just the heaviest and best. I mean, Faith No More, dude, with Mike Patton on the Angel Dust tour.
Yeah,
it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the concert, I had to ask a couple people if I was just making this up or if it really happened. In the middle of the concert, they went into this little kind of moody, kind of jam spacey section, and Mike Patton goes over by the drum set, right? And we see him, he's doing something back there, we can't tell what he's doing, and he's jerking off, and then all of a sudden you see he spoons down the drum set in the middle of the concert.
No. Really?
I was like, dude, I just see what I thought I saw.
I swear to God, I heard that story.
He did. He did. I swear to God, he did. And as blue light comes behind him, and all of a sudden, choo. He spoons right on the drum set.
So Jim Morrison allegedly allegedly exposes himself in Miami, gets arrested, but Mike Patton actually commits a sex act on stage.
It was really, the lighting was weird there, though, because it wasn't, it was a movie theater. They had just opened it up as a concert venue. Yeah. So they were just, putting shit up. And it was dark up there, so we weren't sure at first.
Well, if you think about it,
that's so rock star.
The Gothic led the way for the whole Denver theater thing to open up because they were first.
Well, you know what else they did?
Ogden was second, Bluebird third.
They hosted the MTV birthday concert thing where you got to invite your friends. They closed the venue down. They had Slayer play at the Headbangers Ball New Year's Eve, and then you got to invite your friends, and it was a private party. And Slayer would play it at the Gothic.
You went to that one?
I didn't get to go. I didn't go to that one.
Dude.
You did?
Yes.
Rock and roll, Ledbelly.
Went to the hospital too.
You got in a fight?
No, I got fucking dumped over the fucking barricade.
I heard that was
fucking leg as I smacked it.
MTV was in town. That was a big deal back then. Headbangers Ball, Ricky Rackman, that was incredible. I
was bleeding too much.
But they did it at the Gothic.
No
good stuff.
Shit.
Nice one, Ledbelly. Excellent.
Wow.
Ledbelly!
I kept crowd surfing, and
he's a crowd surfer, man. Let me tell you.
And it caught up with me.
Yeah, I see Ledbelly jump some barricades many times.
That brace or whatever.
You never see it coming.
The front stage barricade.
Yeah, I went over I was like hauling ass, like on the fucking crowd. I mean, catching some momentum, and some dude tried to grab my leg as I was flying,
In a good way or in a bad way?
Right straight into that fucking brace, Oh. And the dudes that were trying to catch you.
Right. That's rock star, buddy.
Did you get knocked
out? Good job.
No.
No? Okay.
No. How many fingers am I holding up?
I put a 2-inch gash in my forehead, and I started bleeding everywhere, so... That was before they...
Man, we seen some good fun concerts, dude.
They hadn't remodeled it at that point. It was just all chairs.
Well, back then, I mean, it took a long time to remodel that thing. And it was so raw, dude. We loved that shit.
There was like a little 20-foot pit, maybe.
Yeah, not even 20. No, not even that. Or maybe they made it for that show.
I remember I kept riding, people kept lifting me up and putting me on the crowd. So I'm like,
you kept going, man. They kept putting them up there. You kept going. Yeah. What are you gonna do? It was so good, dude. God, we saw some cool shit. Back in the 80s, it was just on. I mean, they let you party. You didn't get cops pull you over. They just slap on the wrist, no DUIs. And everyone was so into it. We're all getting drunk, so it wasn't like had drunk people and sober people getting upset with the drunk people. We were all hammered.
It was a commonality.
It was great. It was what you did. The 3 martini lunch was in fashion
had to
back
make
then.
an example and make it fucked up for the rest of us for the rest of our lives. But,
yeah, well, no, that's
people crashing on I-25 after they get out of McNichols shows and
dude, all they had to do was drive. You just have to drive like this, dude. You're fine with the window down, air conditioning on. You'll be fine, dude. If there's 2 lanes one side and 2 lanes on the other side, you're in the middle, bro. That's how it is. No, we
Know your
I'm
limits.
trying to think what else there was. We had some good little. I mean, they were just there was makeshifts sometimes. 50th Street Tavern was pretty badass.
Yeah,
That was some legendary bands played there.
Well, we
When
do
did the
have the
Lounge
garage.
open? The Garage,
we
23
kinda
Parish.
missed the garage.
Rob
which,
Zombie,
was-
White Zombie,
Right, Mike
Smashing
Lustig.
Pumpkins.
Shout out to Mike Lustig, who's
Mikey
back
boy.
in town now. He's back.
No, good,
Yep.
good.
We haven't mentioned Herman's.
Herman's, of course, legendary. How long was that place open for? It just recently closed.
It just recently closed. Yes.
I mean, it's just bullshit.
I got a good
That
story
should
about
have been
that.
Herman's
That
until the
was
day we
Whiskey
died.
A Go-Go of Denver, Colorado
mean-
for a very long time. Right, Herman's Hideaway.
Can't believe
Good call.
can't believe it took us this long to come up with it. We're veterans
Right,
there.
wait, come on, Herman's Hideaway.
Yeah, that was.
And
so
if
many
you were a
shows
Denver band and you got to play that, it was
Yeah.
kind of that one of the higher end. It wasn't just
Yeah,
a
it was a
little
rite of
hole in the wall
passage,
venue.
essentially for most Denver.
Had the
bands.
big high stage and the whole deal. The first time
That's
that
right.
we
A real.
played there,
That's right. A real stage.
we opened
Wasn't
up
a
for
1
the,
foot riser.
we opened up for the Jones.
Oh no, Jones was a big band.
like Lord of Words' second or third
Jones
show.
was a big band.
Okay.
yes.
So I'd put together a bunch of rappers, female rappers that I was producing, and some other rappers, and we're opening up for the Jones. And Jones would sell this place out.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
big. They were good.
And so we get up there, and right about our third or fourth song in it, Sharon, I think her name was, the lady that was kind of in charge of, how about a big to you, Sharon.
Remember Sharon? Anybody
Yeah,
remember
anybody
Sharon?
remember Sharon? Here's a
Leave a
double
comment.
to you, Sharon.
And leave a comment if you got if we overlooked a venue that was obvious.
Exactly,
Please leave us a
because
comment on
obviously
that
we're
too.
just kinda
She comes
rambling.
up and stops us, song 3.
Yeah.
And you know what she says?
What?
This is just not working. But we were doing really well. Like it was, right? Yeah.
This is not working.
Yeah.
In what way?
She did not like rap music, and no rap bands had ever performed.
I'm just not in the mood for this tonight. you
And
know?
she stopped us and got us off stage. That's why I say, Sharon, if you're here,
Suck it.
okay.
I don't know. I might know who Sharon
Why are you
is,
so
actually.
conservative?
I might know who Sharon is. I can't remember for sure.
Or are we missing anything here? So
we got to be missing something.
uh,
There's no way we can't. We got them all. But that's a pretty good
We got
start. That's
Basins
pretty
up.
good. That's pretty
How
good.
about
That's pretty good. So, what was your favorite one? Ledbelly, what was your favorite? What was your favorite venue back then?
all the venues?
80s.
Oh yeah, that's
Like-
a great
like
question.
local
well,
80s
you know,
type.
I was always really attracted to the Rainbow. Made a
Rainbow
whole-
was,
of
I mean,
an
so
impact
goddamn
on me.
good.
When
I mean,
got
Rainbow
to-
was,
I only saw 3 shows.
It was general admission. So you ditched high school and you got in line. First come, first served. In fact, my buddies Pete Barnes and Greg Bly and Ray Johnson and those guys, they slept out 3 nights for Accept.
Yeah, I
They were just
slept
in the
out
parking
there.
lot.
It was fun.
I remember when you
in
could
the
do
parking
that.
lot, dude. And people were like, "What are you guys doing? We'll go to the concert. When is it? It's 3 days from now." I'm like, what? What
Right,
are you,
yeah,
what
you
are you
just hang
talking
out.
about, dude?
So,
In fact, Accept drove through to see who these crazy motherfuckers were that were sleeping out,
yeah.
and they followed them to the hotel. And they got pictures. They hung out with Accept for a minute there.
brilliant.
They got pictures of them, and it was fucking legendary. Accept was the first band at Rainbow Music Hall that charged over $10 or more, double digits.
Oh,
it was $10 some cents. We were
Isn't
like
that crazy?
outrageous, you know. And I still have the Balls to the Wall T-shirt from that concert,
Uh-huh.
1985, with the Metal Heart tour, and it was a Rough Cut opened up. I'll never forget. And it was not. I don't like Rough Cut, even though their Dio was their champion that band. But if I hear them play take out another little piece of my heart one more time, they're going down, dude. I hate that fucking song.
Oh man, yeah, we could go after the covers that suck. That's for
But
sure.
Rainbow Music Hall. I mean, they have the tour buses in the back. It had Big Chuck Grant and what was our other buddy Curtis was the other guy. Chuck Grant was about 400 pounds, security guy,
Oh,
and
Chuck,
Curtis,
you know.
big black dude. And they would you just didn't mess with them. You just didn't.
Yeah,
So
Chuck-
I mean, it was
Chuck,
it was just a
Dino.
rope, and there was the backstage, and there's the buses. The guys were right there,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't dare go over there, go past that, or you know, Chuck could throw you about 50 feet.
Enforcers for sure.
But then we'd get back.
I
Then they
worked
had
for that
the Stroh's Fire Brewed 15 packs, not the 12 pack. They had a 15 pack. We'd each get. We were such lushes. We each get our
Fire
own 15
brewed.
pack, Fire Brewed, whatever that means.
Nah.
So then this homeless guy, would bring a shopping cart, and everybody would be drinking beer and they'd throw it because we knew he was coming. And he'd collect. He made a fortune. Collect all the cans.
We were
and
there all night.
It was a
I
riot.
think I remember
We
that.
played hacky sack, and
That's right.
And basically every single person I've seen at those shows, I still see about a handful of them,
I know,
maybe
right?
10 of them.
Hanging
We
out
still
for
see each other at shows
Full day
today.
before the show
For the
we're
80s.
there, you know, and hanging out doing.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You sometimes if you'd have to go back to high school and take a test, seventh period or so. Then you come back, get back in line with your buddies.
Because what I'm thinking, actually, we would camp out just to get tickets. Right?
Oh yeah, Gart Brothers and Dave Cook.
Yeah, the Rainbow did that, didn't they?
Call.
Rainbow, I don't think they did.
It was just general admission, so you
just general admission.
Get in line.
You got your tickets probably. Yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
you didn't have to get them.
No, even though it was general admission, you still had to get that ticket.
And you still got it because you were so psyched.
There was only so many seats, so you're still. It doesn't matter. You're still.
And you were still, but you were still so psyched to get that ticket too. You couldn't wait.
Yeah,
remember the ticket? Remember the old ticket?
I still got a lot of them.
And then how many do you have?
They're fading. They're fading, dude.
Are they?
What sucks? I've got about maybe 12 or 13 from the Rainbow, but I probably saw like 20 or 30 shows there, at least 20. And but it was Metallica with Armored Saint opening up. It was Metal Church with Megadeth opening up. It was Anthrax. Anthrax played there in '86 and had a banner that says the heaviest fucking band in the world. And I think they had Surge opening up or Raven, maybe Raven. Can't remember. Ted Nugent played the Rainbow.
Shit. Yeah.
Nice call, Dave.
Terrible.
And then and then Slayer. Well, my local Legends Legion of Death opened up for Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Damien Burr and
John
Gottschalk and
That's right.
Jeff Walters and Eddie Pfeiffer.
That's right.
And Eddie Pfeiffer,
they were a big band.
Legion of Death were fantastic, and they worshipped Slayer. They used to. I remember we'd see those guys, Jeff Walters, and talk about, "Oh yeah, Judas Priest is way too slow, dude." Wait, what? And he's Iron Man, they're too slow. We're like Slayer, man. So then they got to open up for Slayer. I think it was 1984, and that was just a phenomenal concert, man.
Shout out to Andy Pfeiffer.
Oh, Pfeiffer, Damien Burr, man. Oh, and all those guys, man. Love Damien, man. I still see him on my Facebook all the time.
Man,
then he had a band called Bone Circus for a while, and anyway, good shit, dude. And it's like their goal, their heroes were Slayer. Their goal in life was to, play with Slayer. They did in 1984. It's like you might as well shoot yourself in the head. It's all downhill from there. It's like you already achieved your life goals, and you're 18 years old or whatever. So anyway, that was the Rainbow Stories. We'll live forever.
Normal.
We'll live forever, man. Of course, one of the most legendary stories of all is when it was Black Flag, and they actually stayed with Chris and Rusty Swanks. They stayed at their house. They were driving around in their station wagon, but they opened up for Nick Heist, and Nick Heist, the dude, came out with no clothes on, and he had his bass, but he had no clothes on. And it was just a huge deal. Barry Fay kicked it right out. It was a whole, indecent exposure, bullshit, and it was like a huge deal.
Trying to get some publicity.
But they invited him back, right?
I can't remember.
Was that the first or the second time they played?
Good point. I don't know.
That was not the time I saw him.
No? Okay. Well, I guess it's two then.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they came back after. I'm pretty sure they were probably 86, knowing Barry Fay.
We were... I never did that punk thing really. All my buddies that were metalheads, and all of a sudden they were Black Flag and Dead Kennedys and VNX and Minor Threat and all those Fugazi, all those guys. And I was like, I don't know about that. I didn't hate it, but I was like, I'm good with my metal.
Let's remember too that during that time you had the Denver Skins and the Denver punk scene.
Good point.
It was you didn't.
Well, Tom Kennedy, dude.
You didn't
Seven
cross
South
genres.
You
did.
Then. You did.
You were the metal hair band,
but my metalhead buddies did kind of cross.
Interesting point.
And my Steve Shimizu got the Mohawk, and Rusty Swank did the Mohawk, and Dan Zelenkoff did the Mohawk, and they were metalheads, man. Dan Zelenkoff, dude.
You know that dude?
Yeah, he was VNX, right? And then they formed a band called Problem Youth, dude.
Holy shit! He went to TJ. I lost track of that, dude.
Yeah, Zelenkoff was a punker. But Tom Kennedy, dude, was the original punker. Sure. And his mom, Irene, bought that warehouse. They had the warehouse across from, it was right by Rainbow Music Hall. And they had that warehouse because he and his friends were all carousing and stuff. She's like, you guys are going to get in trouble. So she fucking got this warehouse where she's like, you guys can hang out here instead of being out on the streets. And all of a sudden they start throwing shows, dude, and they right before they bought 7 South Broadway. Which is now the High Dive, right. And so the warehouse, dude, was legendary, dude. Every single great punk band played there.
Well, just even mentioning Tom Kennedy's name.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Is he on Facebook?
I don't know that.
Is he still around?
I don't know, but I used to go to 7 South. I saw, talking about some legendary shows at 7 South, man. I saw Hawkwind again, Dick Turner's Hawkwind. Helos Creed played there. Zach Wilde played acoustic show there with some other guitar player. I can't remember.
Well, you had
that we didn't know. And phenomenal.
Cool.
Just incredible bands.
2 Tommies back then was Tom Holler.
Yeah,
Shout
Tom
out
Holler.
to Tom Holler. Amy Jimmy. Right? And Tom Kennedy. And they were friends. And they were a big deal. They were the upper echelon of promoters in the 80s. During the 80s, they had big names. If you knew Tom Kennedy, you were a cool dude.
Absolutely.
You knew Tom Holler, you were a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, same with that's the whole Wax Trax scene.
Sure.
And Wax Trax did kind of bring a lot of things together from new wave, punk, rock.
They carried albums from every genre.
Right.
Yeah, we don't.
Extensive collections of albums.
Definitely.
And it's still there. Shout out to
Wax Trax
Records,
man. You
wow.
gotta love it.
Yeah, that's the legend of all of the legends we've spoken about. Because it's still an institution.
It is a very much of a Denver music institution.
When it was, we'd have a blizzard and they'd cancel high school, we'd go shovel some walks, and we'd shovel about 3 or 4 walks. So we had enough money to go buy a $10 bag of weed, and then we'd get on the Colfax bus, the 15, and take it down. Or if somebody were driving, we'd go down to Wax Trax. We'd have some cash from shoveling walks, and we'd say, but what would invariably happen is we'd want like 10 albums, and we could afford like 2 or 3. So we'd be like sitting there, it was painful, which ones you had to put back, you couldn't afford them all. And then you talk to the guys that worked there, they were snobs, it's like typical record shop snob guys that work there, Oh, dude, you haven't heard of this band yet, bro? Oh, come on, man. They came out yesterday, and there's a crappy band from fucking Topeka, whatever it is, But these guys are, that's what they did. They listened to records all goddamn day.
Small shop, but they had so much.
Pardon me.
Right. And the thing about it is that, they would have, their different genres, right? So you would take the time, you would smoke a little doob, you'd go in there high,
right. Oh, yeah.
and you just start peeling through them, but you would ask the guy behind the counter.
Play them for you.
Hey, yeah, either play it for me or what do you think of these guys? And he would tell you, and based on his opinion,
absolutely, I would hold up 2 records and say, "What do you think, dude?
Right.
I'm dying. I'm torn, man."
Right. So who used to actually work there besides Johnny Mega? Do we remember any names that because they were influential to the scene.
Promoters, I'm sure, ran through there. I don't know.
Didn't Al Jorgensen and Dead Kennedys, Jelly Biafra hang out there? We had something to do with it, or did they? I know they would hang out there, and they would have their, they would do.
Stop doing, yeah.
Yeah, they would stop in, absolutely. But I thought they might even had something to do with it.
Jello does sound
like they made it into a record company or something, maybe for a second.
They had Wax Trax Records for a little while.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, they did, and it was mostly centered around punk music. And gosh, I wish I could find Johnny Mega because he would know, or Tom Kennedy. Let's see if we can find Tom Kennedy.
That's great idea. Good idea. We're gonna talk to these guys.
So let's wrap it up.
Oh, he's got some stories. Yeah, we could ramble on all day about this.
Yeah, but we lost track of a lot of people we love and made a whole lot of marks in our lives that we still think about. So yeah. Hopefully, maybe someone knows where they're at. Maybe they want to.
Well, shouldn't we look on Facebook?
There's an idea.
Oh, well.
Especially because that's where the old guys go, right? Facebook's for us, we old motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's a lot of old folks that just gave up with that 5 years ago. This is done. But
no, I don't think so.
It depends on where you're at. What you're trying to promote. If you're actually,
they try to go away from it. They get pulling them back in. So anyway, we're wrapping it up today.
You're pulling that from The Sopranos?
Yeah, no, that's from Godfather 3.
Right.
They keep pulling me back in.
Well,
Everybody's got an idea for
total
Walgreens that we can turn into the next.
That's right. The next Rainbow Music Hall. We need it.
We'll let you.
We're doing it. We're doing it. So thanks everybody for watching. This has been Count D, Ledbelly, and Johnny Concert.
We'll be back.
Adios.
Leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel.
Peace.
Hit the like button. Rock on. Peace. Thank you.
Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny.